Hi, I'm Dr. Green with the Counseling and Testing Center. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to build a healthy relationship. I just want to say from the start that the focus of this is not going to be recognizing signs of abuse or problems in relationships like that. You can find some information about that on our website that is really important. What I want to talk about specifically today is just how do you build a healthy relationship. So I think we know that we need respect, we need compassion, we need some of those basic foundations for a healthy relationship, but then how do you go about actually building that? So I'm going to talk about just a few different concepts today of how to do that. First I'm going to talk about is the idea of trust, right? Obviously we know trust is an important part of a relationship, but we don't often know how do we build that trust. So one of the things that I think is really helpful is thinking of trust as something as simple as in your home, right? You build walls and you lock your door in your home in order to protect yourself. And we often build emotional walls too, and it's very much the same thing. Those walls are a good thing. But sometimes if we want to let somebody in, there has to be that trust. With that trust comes some vulnerability. If I give you the key to my house, I'm now a little bit vulnerable. You can take advantage of that. And it's the same thing emotionally in a relationship. So I want to learn how to build that trust to the point where I'm giving the keys to people that I know I can trust them with my home. So the way we do that is really to kind of talk about some different types of intimacy. A lot of times we hear intimacy and we immediately think of physical intimacy, which is one type of intimacy. But intimacy is just closeness. So you can have physical intimacy, you can have emotional intimacy, you can have intellectual intimacy as well. And these types of intimacy all have certain boundaries with them. So if I think of trust as though I've got these levels of walls, when I'm getting to know somebody, they're outside of these walls. And then the way I start to get to know them is just letting down one layer. So instead of thinking either I trust you or I don't trust you, it's important to think of trust as this layered thing. So I can trust somebody with something as simple as what's my name, where am I from, right? That's like this first level of walls. But then I want to pay close attention to how they handle that vulnerability that I've just offered. Are they respectful of that? Do I feel safe with them? And if so, then I'm willing to go another level. And so I like to think of these as walls of trust and levels of trust, so that instead of either completely letting somebody in or completely blocking someone out, I kind of test that as it goes. And so when I'm doing that, what I'm doing is I'm constantly balancing my trust and my vulnerability. I'm only as vulnerable as I feel comfortable being with that person, and I'm very conscious of that as I go. So as I do that, as I keep my trust and vulnerability balanced, I go through this careful process of letting people in one layer at a time. And then remembering that there are these different types of intimacy. Physical intimacy, intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, and I want those to stay balanced to some degree as well. If I'm very emotionally intimate with a person, but not physically intimate, that's one type of relationship. If I'm very intellectually intimate, we can talk about philosophical subjects or about my job or what I do, these intellectual topics, and develop this intimacy, but I don't have emotional or physical intimacy, that's a different type of relationship. In a romantic relationship, what we're typically looking for is all three of these to be fairly balanced. And so thinking of balancing trust and vulnerability, thinking of balancing intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, and physical intimacy, along with that trust and vulnerability is the way that we begin to just slowly and carefully build a healthy relationship. And when we have those things in balance, trust and vulnerability, different types of intimacy, that's when a relationship can grow in a healthy way. And we typically see the most benefit as well as the most fulfillment from those types of relationships. So I encourage you to check out our website if you want more information about, again, some of the signs of unhealthy relationships or just more information about how to build healthy relationships. Please feel free to contact us. You can always call the Counseling and Testing Center to make an appointment. That's 978-3440. You can come to see us in Grace Wilkie 320. We're happy to work with you and happy to help you out any way we can. And appreciate your time today.